you're making it.
Did that sound better on sassafras?
Probably debatable.
Well, sassafras, fine log is not my best repeater. I can talk Somerville about as good as I can fine log sometimes.
Copy that. Now you're making it fine there. Catch you a little bit later. Good to hear you. WQMN 733.
Yep, have a good night. WQBG 40, HL90.
Check 1, 2. All right, so that's all in there. All right. Let's see here. I've got some buttons to push. Let's see what happens when I press this one right here.
WRGC678. Just checking the Zello connection. Did you hear me, Justin?
Yeah, indeed. Atlanta 115, Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. Yes, indeed, I've got you by way of Zello. Zello appears to be online and working.
I appreciate the feedback there. I'm making sure I'm in the basement of the Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta, so my connection's not the best.
Yeah, just down there myself a few hours ago. Walked right past it on my way to meet with my son and pick up his car and bring it back to Woodstock. So I work down that way. But good talking with you, and we'll catch up with you again here on the net shortly. You're getting out just fine. So this is WQIR 514, Atlanta 946, standing by for the net. All right.
Thanks again, Justin. I appreciate it. Atlanta 115, WRG2678, standing by for the net.
So I thought he was 106, but he must have changed his TAC number when Gary made that a possibility, which is fine for people to do. I've considered it myself and decided I have enough trouble remembering who I am, and if I have an alternate ego or an alternate identity, I'll never know how to answer the radio. I have a tough time with my ham call sign. I spend so much time on GMRS that on those rare occasions when I fire up the ham radio. Anyway, all right, so I found the script. Yeah, we got a couple minutes left here. Well, about a minute and 10 seconds. All right, and I've got my system manager up. I've got my log sheet up. I've got the membership page. And let's see, anything here I care about? All right. Coming right up to it. I wonder who else is going to want a radio check just before the net. I love it. Let's see here. Okay. What's this button do? Is it that one there? Yeah, that's no good at all. There we go. Okay. All right. 10 seconds. Get rid of that. One more of these. Okay, I knew I should have went to the bathroom before I came in here. It's time. I like to give it a few extra seconds just to make people nervous and wonder, is there going to be a net tonight? Okay, we're 15 seconds late. Here we go. Good evening, friends, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I'll be working off the Pine Log repeater tonight, but we'll be networked in with Sassafras, Ball Ground, Lookout Mountain, Jersey, Somerville, Madison, Crawford, Zello, McDonough, Zebulon, Noonan, Columbus, and the Moreland repeater. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. That would be you folks participating in this activity every week and doing your part to contribute to this great network. Thank you all. Tonight, your net control is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin, and I'm located in Woodstock. On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, coming Hamfest events, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to know. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address the other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. The use of your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. When signing in, please speak slowly, because that's how I type, and clearly as you give your tactical unit number, call sign, name, and location. At this time, I'll take check-ins. Any Zello check-ins, please call Net Control now.
This is 253 WQND 274, Donald from Blairsville, Georgia.
This is Noonan 25, Joe, and by relaying into 26, Mary Catherine. Joe and Mary Catherine, we are WRCL 957 in Fayetteville, Georgia. Hello, Justin.
This is Atlanta 261 checking in on Zello at brother-in-law's wedding rehearsal. Check me in and out if you can hear me. Thank you so much, Net Control.
This is Atlanta 115, WRBC 678. Brian from Ball Ground, checking in on Zello at the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. Good evening, everyone.
This is Atlanta 26, WREB 450, Lippin, Druid Hills. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well.
Who is Atlanta 26? Let's have a little look here. See if we can figure it out. That is Flip. Okay, sounds good tonight. Oh, he's on Zello. Okay. Okay, at this time I will acknowledge the following Zello check-ins. I have Atlanta 253, Donald in Blairsville. Thank you for checking in tonight, Donald. Appreciate that. Looking forward to hearing from you. We have Noonan 25 and Noonan 26, Joe and Mary Catherine, both in Fayetteville. Thank you, Joe and Mary Catherine. Looking forward to hearing from you in a little bit here, Joe. We also have Atlanta 261, Scott at his, did he say his brother's or his brother-in-law? He's at a wedding rehearsal. There's a lot of noise in the background. Scott, I hope you have a fantastic time. I've got you in the log as in and out, and we're looking forward to hearing stories and maybe even seeing some pictures, because I think there'll be stories to tell. But enjoy that wedding rehearsal, dinner, and event, and I expect the wedding's this weekend. So look out, world. Next, I have if I can get my lips and my tongue to all move at the same time incorrectly. I have Atlanta 115, Brian at the Federal Reserve. You sound good checking in, Brian. Looking forward to hearing from you this evening. And I have Atlanta 26, Flip in Druid Hills. You sound great tonight, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Do we have any additional Zello check-ins? Please call Net Control now. All right, let's see what's going on with this. Nothing. Okay, good. Okay, nothing heard for additional Zello check-ins. So next, I will ask for check-ins from any visiting transient licensed GMRS operator or new members of the North Georgia GMRS network. This is any licensed GMRS operator who is not a member but is in the area and would like to check in, or any new members to the group, or any youth members. This is your time. Please call Net Control now. And no one will check in because this puts them on the spot. And that's all right. Okay, hearing nothing from new users and guests and youth, I'm going to move on to Pine Log check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in on the Pine Log repeater, please call Net Control now.
This is Atlanta 445 WQCZ 520, Randy in Dallas.
This is WQMN 733, Atlanta 36. Bill, located in the shadow of the mighty Pine Log, Waleska.
This is Mitchell, WRC W219, Atlanta 23, located in Holly Springs.
This is Atlanta 57 WQZC 82, Andrew in Holly Springs.
This is WQW 343, Mike M. Buford, Atlanta 225. Check me in and out.
This is Alabama 672 WRDH 403, Garland in Powell, Alabama. Check me in and out, please, sir.
This is Atlanta 780 WQME 439, Houston and Austell.
Okay, Net Control will take a break right there and acknowledge the following check-ins. I have Atlanta 445, Randy in Dallas. Looking forward to speaking with you tonight, Randy, and maybe we can talk about some license plates. Next I have Atlanta 36, Bill at the Outpost in Waleska. Good to hear from you tonight, Bill. You are sounding great on your rig. Next I have Atlanta 23, Mitchell in Holly Springs. Mitchell, you sound great tonight, and I'm looking forward to talking to you here in a little while. And Atlanta 57, Andrew, also in Holly Springs. Andrew, welcome to the net, and you've got some adventures today to talk about, and I hope that you will. Next I have Atlanta 225. We haven't heard from Mike for a while. Mike is in Buford, and he is in and out tonight. Thanks for checking in, Mike, and we hope that we can catch up with you sometime soon. Next I have Alabama 672, Gerlin in Powell, Alabama. Gerlin is in and out tonight, but thank you for checking in with us, and we hope things are going well, and we look forward to hearing from you again when you're available. Finally, I have Atlanta 780, Houston in Austell. Houston, glad to hear from you, and looking forward to talking with you in a little while, and maybe we can name the location for the March 21st GMRS gathering. We'll talk to Houston about that here in just a little while. That is the end of my list, so I will call for any additional Pine Log check-ins, and then we'll call for check-ins anywhere. But Pine Log check-ins, please call Net Control now.
This is Atlanta 410 WRFA 652, Arnie in Dallas. I'll be in and out.
Okay, Arnie, you sound fantastic. Net Control acknowledging Atlanta 410 Arnie in Dallas. Arnie, you sound fantastic tonight, and looking forward to catching up with you when you're available. I've got you in a log as in and out, And with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the check-ins to anyone, anywhere, including Pine Log. So anyone from any repeater anywhere, please call Net Control now. That's it? That's it? I don't get anybody else?
This is
There we go.
McDonough 22, WRCR 952. Good evening, Justin. Good evening to the net. And I will be in and out tonight, Justin. And y'all have a good night, and we'll catch you another time. Clear.
All right, Tim is in and out. Who else do we have?
This is WRATT41, Atlanta 403, Bob in White County. Hard to get a copy on Pine Lodge tonight, so I'll just be in and out and watching it on YouTube. This is Noonan 40 WQZW 444, Larry, along with Noonan 41 Phillips. This is Noonan 29 Marty in Tyrone, WRC 796.
WRCD 630, Atlanta 33, Ricky up in Jasper. Put me down to the in and out. Good evening, everybody.
Okay, Net Control will acknowledge. McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Thank you, Tim, for checking in with us tonight. I've got you in log as in and out. Also, I have Atlanta 403, Bob in White County. He's having a tough time hearing the translation across the repeaters, so he's going to monitor the YouTube live stream. Thanks, Bob, for hanging out with us tonight. And that audio issue is in the works, and we're looking at it. So hopefully soon we'll have that resolved. Next, I have Atlanta 40, and I'm sorry, that's not Atlanta. That is Noonan 40 and Noonan 41. Larry and Phyllis both in Noonan. At least I believe they're in Noonan. They could be anywhere, but I'm going to say that they're in Noonan. Thank you, Larry and Phyllis, for checking in with us tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Next, I have Noonan 29, Marty from Tyrone. Marty, it's great to hear from you tonight. Looking forward to chatting with you here in a little while. And finally, I have Atlanta 33, Ricky in Jasper. Ricky, did you say that you were in and out? I got a little bit behind on my button pressing here, so I've got you logged in. If you're in and out, just let me know, or when we come to you, if you don't answer, then that could be the answer. We'll see. All right, then. So that's what I have. Do we have any additional check-ins, any final check-ins before we go back to the top?
3-3, yeah, I'll be in and out. Maybe I'll see you over there Saturday morning.
Okay, Ricky, I got you in the log as in and out. Thank you for that. And, yeah, hope to catch up with you on Saturday. We'll be 7 a.m. at Mr. Biscuit, just a few minutes away from the Hamfest. So anyone who's interested in starting the day out there, that's our plan. 7 a.m. at Mr. Biscuit. Easy to find if you just search for it on Google Maps. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on up to the top of the list. Anybody that wants to check in will have an opportunity to do so when we get back to the bottom here. So at this time, I'm going to go up to Donald, Atlanta 253. Donald in Blairsville, what have you got going on? Are you going to go to the Hamfest? Zello check-ins. Always a delay. And See, I hate to key up because that just makes it that much harder. So I'm going to hang out here for just a bit. Sometimes Zello can be a challenge. It's your turn to talk, and you are waiting for the opportunity for that little button on your phone to give you the push-to-talk feature, and it just hangs in there, and it's yellow, or it's red, or it's orange. But it's anything but green, and you're trying to press it, and you're trying to press it, and it says you've pressed it too many times, and you have to wait 2 minutes before you can talk again. So I've been there, and I've done that. I've experienced that very thing. So if that's what's going on, Donald, maybe I've talked long enough to give you another chance at pressing the button. Atlanta 253, Donald, are you there?
We're going over to my dad's brother's because he's moving this weekend, and no, we're not going to be able to go to the Ham Fest Saturday. Are they just having it Saturday or Saturday and Sunday?
Sorry about that delay there, Donald. Yeah, it's going to be just Saturday. It's a little smaller ham fest than the one that we typically go to, so it'll just be Saturday. And yeah, if your dad's brother is moving, then that's probably where you need to be. I believe we have another North Georgia GMRS member who is moving this week, and I think I saw him say that he had to be out by Thursday, and I wonder if that's today. It was kind of a late notice plea for help and moving in the rain. So not sure how that turned out, or if we're going to hear from him and get a report. But maybe his former neighbor can tell us what's going on. But hang in there, Donald, with that move. That's important stuff. I generally, I try to help people when it's time for them to move, because it's a horrible thing to do. It's a lot of work. It's not very much fun, and I figure as long as I'm there to help other people when I need it, they'll be around to help me. So that's important stuff to do.
We're not helping. We're just watching the movers.
All right, well then I take back everything I said. You're going to have all the beer and the pizza and watch the hired hands do the work. Is that what it is? Oh my golly.
Yep, well, he's at the other house.
All right. Well, Donald, I'm sure he appreciates your efforts nonetheless. And well, good luck with that, and hope that it goes smoothly. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Noonan 25, Joe, and Noonan 26, Mary Catherine in Fayetteville. Joe, what do you have going on?
Hey, Justin. Man, what's not going on, dude, right? lots of fun things. Looking forward to seeing you at the Dalton Ham Fest. I still don't know if Noonan 26 is going to be able to go. She's actually in the home office right now studying for college work. So looking forward to that, and I'll be helping out at the ARRL table and hopefully milling around. And then on Monday, I'll actually be up in North Atlanta. Kittredge Magnet School is going to be talking to the International Space Station astronauts, and I am an ARL representative to that. So at 1:30, they're going to be talking to the astronauts live on the space station.
Well, that is some fantastically cool stuff. Help the kids engage in science and technology and the wonder of space travel and radio communications all at once. That's cool stuff. And Joe, I just want to thank you for being the guy that makes those kind of things happen and can spread the the hobby of radio to the youth. That's cool stuff, and I'm sure you'll talk to them about GMRS too while you're there. But in any case, tell Mary Catherine that we wish her the best in her studies, and if we miss her on Saturday, that's okay. We'll catch up at the next event, I'm sure. So that'll be good stuff. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you and Mary Catherine in and out of the log. So thank you for that, and look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Next on my list is Atlanta 261, Scott. He's at a wedding rehearsal, and it's not likely he's going to be able to talk to us because, well, he's got other things to do. That brings me next to Atlanta 115, Brian at the Federal Reserve Building. Brian, what are you doing? And here we are with Zello. He's probably pressing that button. There he goes.
I got tied up for a second. I'm down here at the Federal Reserve, taking my trash out and getting ready to call it a night. Been doing some construction work. I'm just take it day by day. How about you, Justin?
Well, Brian, I'm down there in Midtown every stinking day, just down the street from where you're at the 1200 Peachtree Northeast Norfolk Southern building. And that's where I spend my days and some of my nights. But Federal Reserve, working in the basement, doing some construction work. Well, that sounds very interesting. And I don't know. I've never actually been in a Federal Reserve building. It's one of those things that it's right there in Midtown. It's a short walk from the office, but they're closed by the time I get off work, and I don't know that I really want to spend my day off in Midtown. So I'll probably never see the Federal Reserve building from the inside, but I'm kind of okay with that. But appreciate you checking in with us tonight, Brian, and get that stuff taken care of so that you can get on the road and headed home. The good news is that by now you probably won't have any traffic to deal with. I know that when I left Midtown around 4:30, there was some traffic, but all in all, it wasn't that bad. So again, thank you for that, Brian. And with that, I'm going to move on and see what Flip has going on. Atlanta 26 in Druid Hills. How you doing this evening, Flip?
I'm doing well, thanks, Justin. Trying to stay dry a little bit here after all this rain that we've been having. I can't wait for spring. It seems like it's right around the corner. But we still get these cold shots and lots of miseries, as I call it. I hope everybody out there is doing well tonight. I was thinking about Saturday, and I can't make Mr. Biscuit because I've got my running group that meets early Saturday morning. But I may run up there to Dalton after that. So I'll try to find you and catch you in the boneyard or whatever is going on up there. And then I got to make it back because the great Delbert McClinton is playing Saturday night at Variety Playhouse. And Ashley, my wife, and I are heading over there. So we're looking forward to that. Hope you guys all have a great weekend. And that's it for me, Atlanta 26.
Wow, Delbert McClinton. That would be a fantastic show. I had no idea he was going to be in town. Very cool. I'm a little bit jealous, and it makes me want to see if I can find any tickets. But my 947 won't be available. She's got other plans for the weekend, so she's on a secret mission in Savannah. A bunch of February birthdays, and apparently we're not done celebrating happy birthday. So I kind of had my fill, but apparently she's still looking for some more. But that's cool stuff, and yeah, I totally get it, Mr. Biscuit. That's fine. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you. I should be at the Hamfest grounds pretty much, probably till they throw me out. I'll be the guy with the, if it's chilly, I'm going to have a black jacket on and a black hat on, and they'll both say North Georgia GMRS. And I'll be passing out some postcards, and I'll have a handful of bumper stickers until they run out. And yeah, talk to whoever I can talk to about GMRS. And I'm also going to be looking for anything that sparks my interest, and probably going to spend too much money and eat too much food and, things that we usually do at a ham fest. But definitely I will keep an eye out for you and look forward to putting a face to the name and a good firm handshake. So hopefully we'll see you there. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 445, Randy in Dallas. Randy, how's the license plate project coming along?
Hello, Justin. It's just sitting there. I've been abandoned this week. I'm having to pull the work wagon by myself. Linda took off. She's down in Disney World with the daughter and the two grandsons, and they're fighting 90-degree weather down there. The granddaughter, Jamie, that some of you heard on the radio here a while back, her dad are in Canada on a school trip. And I text my son-in-law today. I said, "What's the lowest temperature you've had so far?" And he texts back minus 22.
Oh my God!
So I guess sitting here in the rain and working my rear end off is not so bad after all.
Well, we go from minus 22 to the mid 90s, and holy cow! 947 and I were just down there in Disney, and we had fantastically mild weather and bright sunshine. I got quite the sunburn on my trip down there. Actually, most of my sunburn came from the Ham Fest at Hamcation. But yeah, so you're holding the fort down all by yourself. Well, that's okay. But whenever you get around to it, you can make an announcement to the group here. And for anybody that doesn't know, Randy's been working on making those North Georgia GMRS license plates. Something similar to what I posted, only I think his are a little bit cooler. And he'll make that available to the membership if anybody wants to order them from Randy for your vehicle. I think it's kind of cool having them on the vehicles, and I think it's kind of cool having one on both vehicles that are just a little bit different, 946 on mine and 947 on Julie's. And yeah, it's, I guess I'm just nerdy that way, but I think it's pretty neat. So if anybody else wants to do something like that, Randy's going to be your hookup. So he's been working on that. He'll have some pricing and information for us hopefully soon. So thank you for that. And next I'm going to move on to Atlanta 36 Bill at the Outpost. You sound fantastic on that rig.
Good evening, Justin, and good evening to the net. I should snap a pic of my antenna, except I would be ashamed. But it's making it in. And I'm jealous on the Ham Fest talk. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make Dalton. So I wish everyone well, especially in the boneyard. And with that, I'll turn it back over to net control.
All right. Well, it just isn't going to be the same. I guess this will be the second Ham Fest I've been to this year without you. But I'm sure we'll catch up at one of them at one point along the way. I believe that the Atlanta Ham Fest is still on. But I'm a little bit concerned because I've tried a number of times to reach someone over there to talk to them about a booth, and no one has responded. So I'll be getting more active about tracking someone down with the Atlanta Ham Club there about a North Georgia GMRS booth real soon. But yeah, makes me wonder, is it going to get canceled again? And maybe, I don't know, maybe we don't want to have a booth there. Maybe we don't want to put the money into it and have them not have the Ham Fest. So things that I have to consider. But in any case, I'll miss you at the Ham Fest, Bill, but I'm sure we'll catch up at something sooner or later. And we always have the GMRS gathering coming up March 21st. We'll talk a little bit about that here shortly. Next on my list is Atlanta 23 Mitchell in Holly Springs. Mitchell, how you doing this evening?
Pretty good, Justin. Good evening. Just been working crazy hours here lately, and I think that's come to a close, but I'll miss money, that's for sure.
Well, I hear the crazy hours, and I've paid my dues when it comes to crazy hours here at the railroad. I have really done some crazy stuff in terms of long hard hours, and long travel and all of that. Fortunately, these days, I'm pretty much a 7 to 4 guy, and that's okay. I do a little bit now and then outside of those hours, but for the most part, it's been really nice to have a regular schedule and be able to come home at a regular time and not have to deal with the railroad all night long, and I'm enjoying it. So it took a long time to get here, but now that we're here, we're just going to take advantage of that and enjoy it. Sorry about those long hours, but I hope they pay off, and I hope that it ends up serving you well. Good to hear from you tonight, Mitchell. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on now to Atlanta 5-7, Andrew in Holly Springs. Andrew, you've been on an adventure today.
Good evening, Justin and everyone on the net. Yeah, I've been through an adventure this whole entire week. It's supposed to be vacation. I probably need to look up the definition of what that is in the dictionary. I'm not quite sure if I'm living up to that at the moment. But yeah, no, this whole week has been nutso. Starting off with, doing a ride along with the city of Holly Springs on Tuesday, and then had a bunch going on yesterday, including helping Atlanta 4-5, who you mentioned earlier, was kind of up and moving all of a sudden. They sold their house and bought another one, so that was way into the night. I think we got done about 11 o'clock with the U-Haul back and forth, only about 2 miles away, so that's good. And then that brings us to today, and yes, took the two of my kids, Anna and Buddy, to a Central Casting is the name of it, in downtown. They actually, who you go see and get registered with if you want to try to be a little more than an extra in more major films. So we spent a good bit of time down there getting them registered with that. Sat around a whole bunch, and then went over to the Braves Clubhouse Bar and Grill right after that for dinner, and then now we're back home, and here we are.
Well, fantastic. Yes, the definition of vacation. We tend to stretch the limits of that as well ourselves, and a staycation is something that I cherish. I love to just be able to hang out here and do what I want and enjoy some time that I can just kind of relax. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're doing what you want, that works for vacation. And sounds to me like you've been, well, I don't know about the moving part of it. That's probably not what you wanted to do. But the rest of it sounds like it's pretty cool. The ride along with the Holly Springs, I'm sure that was as busy a PD as Holly Springs are. There were probably 3 or 4 high-speed chases, probably some burglary arrests, and I don't know. Did they have to get the dogs out, I wonder?
Yeah. With it being a rainy day, there wasn't much going on. It was still fun nonetheless to hang out with them and hear a bunch of stories and all that. But yeah, no, it's this is like Mayberry. So but actually, I shouldn't say that because I'm going to jinx it. But yeah, no, it's still fun nonetheless. A bunch of good guys. And touching on the moving aspect, and I think you said it earlier, Justin. You know what? May not be something you necessarily want to do, but you want to do it, if you know what I mean. Because, a lot of times if you scratch other people's backs, they'll scratch yours. And, of course, it's doing the right thing, in the end. So, yeah, it's and deep down you're like, oh, my body doesn't want to. But when the mind and heart is definitely the right thing to do.
Yes, it is. And had we been maybe a little better informed and had a little more of an opportunity to rearrange our schedule, we might have been able to chip in a little bit. But we barely had an opportunity to meet our obligations here as it is. But hope that that works out well for Ian and his family, and wish him all the best. And appreciate you stepping up and being that guy. Next on the list, I have Atlanta 225, Mike in Buford. Mike is in and out tonight, but glad that he was able to check in with us, and look forward to hearing from him again real soon. Next, I have Alabama 672 Gerlin from Powell, Alabama. Gerlin is also in and out tonight, so hopefully he'll be able to check in with us again soon. Looking forward to hearing from him. That brings me next to Atlanta 780. Houston in Austell. Houston, do you have any news for us this evening?
News as of the eating place. Is that what you're speaking of, Justin?
Well, sure, that or anything else you want to talk about.
Hey, Roger. Okay. No, the barbecue place that we had discussed eating at, I guess it's still set for that, correct?
As far as I understand, that's our plan. I can't remember the name of the place. I know that you sent it to me, and I'll post something. Here in another week or so. We're still a month away from it. March 21, I believe, is our date for that, and so today being the 20th. But yeah, put that on your calendars. The North Georgia GMRS gathering will be happening in Austell on March 21 at 6 p.m. And Houston, what's the name of that place?
That would be Wallace Barbecue. You can Google it. Those of you who's got computers, I think everybody has, or a phone one, and take a look at it. Get the address and directions. It's almost in downtown Austell, just a little outside of town, but I think everybody will enjoy it.
Well, I think so too, and I enjoyed it the time that you took us down there. So I know it'll be good food, and that should be a great room for us to gather in and be able to visit with one another. And it's an affordable place to eat. It's not a very expensive place. So hopefully that works well for many of us, and we can have a nice sized gathering out there. And once again, that's going to be on March 21 at 6 p.m. Wallace Barbecue in Austell, Georgia. And thank you, Houston, for putting that together for us, and we look forward to visiting with you there when the time comes. What else have you got going on?
Oh, not too much. I don't know if I'll make it to the Ham Fest or not. I had plans of coming up to Dalton, but I guess it just depends on the weather and whether any of us can get up there or not. I don't know what it's supposed to be doing. Hopefully I will make it. I had talked to Jim. He talked about trying to go up, so we may ride up together. And of course, I've got my knee surgery scheduled for next Monday, and hopefully 3 weeks of healing, I'll be able to eat barbecue.
Well, I hope so too. I very much hope that knee surgery goes very well, and that your recovery is swift and kind of like the last one there, and that you get your physical therapy on that correctly so that it heals well. And yeah, so we'll be praying for that, Houston, and we'll be looking forward to it. Hope that we can catch you at the Ham Fest on Saturday, but I understand if you don't make it. There'll be others, so that's okay. But glad you were able to check in with us tonight, and glad you were able to arrange for that North Georgia GMRS gathering. Thank you very much for that. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on next to Atlanta 410. Arnie in Dallas. Arnie was in and out tonight. Thank you, Arnie, for checking in with us. We're glad to hear from you. Next, I have McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Tim is also in and out. He's a busy guy, but we're glad you're able to check in with us, Tim, and hope that things are going well for you. That brings me next to Atlanta 403, Bob in White County. Bob is monitoring us by way of the live feed, the YouTube live feed. For those of you that don't know, most of the time we have a live feed on our YouTube channel. And if you didn't know we had a YouTube channel, well, yeah, now you know. So anybody who is interested in viewing that stream, there's a bit of a delay, so it can be a little confusing if you're trying to view the live stream and participate in the net. But if you're out of town and you just can't get enough of North Georgia GMRS while you're traveling, this is an alternate means of being able to check out the net. And you can come back and watch it later if you missed something. The biggest reason that I like to do this is that it's a tool that we can use to show people what North Georgia GMRS is all about. So if you have someone that you think would benefit from understanding what our nets are and how we do things, feel free to email them a link and or post it on Facebook or however you communicate with them. And spread the word about North Georgia GMRS. That's what that is there for, and hopefully that can be an effective tool. Next on my list is Noonan 40, Larry in Noonan, and Noonan 41. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good evening, Jeff and everyone else on the net. We're doing fine down here in Noonan, trying to stay above water level and stay dry. I'm sure it's like everybody else. All of the reservoirs and creeks down here are way above their normal. I just want to throw a little shout out to Joe and Mary Catherine. They did a fantastic fox hunt presentation at our BGMRC Ham Club meeting just a few weeks ago. And if you haven't seen their presentation, if you've got something coming up, get with them and see if they can do their presentation. They do a fantastic job. And along that line, Justin, I don't know what you have done with your rig up there, but last Sunday night into our net down here, you were in strong, son. So I don't know if you've put up your tower and your beam, but you're doing great. Not going to be able to make it to Dalton. I've got a rare visit from the grandkids this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's all that's going on down here. So I will turn it back to you. This is Noonan 40, WQZW 444, back to net control.
Okay, Larry, thank you for that. I appreciate all that. And yes, Joe and Mary Catherine, I have been able to enjoy going out on a fox hunt that they've put together, and they do a fantastic job in the field as well as offering instruction. And can't say enough about that, and can't say enough about the opportunity to share the radio hobby and the wonder of radio and communications and science and space and technology with elementary school kids. When the space station flyover happens on Monday, that is really cool stuff. And that brings me to another topic that you've brought up, Larry, and that is some seminars or some classes that Atlanta 60 is suggesting. And I think that's a great idea. I'm not quite sure how the mechanics of all that are going to come together, if we're going to have a meeting place someplace, or if we're going to do some sort of a live stream seminar or a webinar. Not exactly sure what the mechanics of that are, but we'll figure it out. And if the interest is there, that would be very cool to have a series of classes, and quite possibly and highly likely, Noonan 2.5 and Noonan 2.6 will insert themselves and become involved and offer up some radio classes themselves, most likely fox hunting, but who knows, they may have some other topics that they want to address. Could be amateur radio and satellites. So there's lots of opportunities there. So thank you for that, Larry, and thank you for the comments with regard to my 2-meter station. I have done a little work there, and hopefully that will remain a good quality, reliable connection. So looking forward to participating in some more nets. I'm probably not going to make it on the net this weekend, but I plan to be a regular on that, so look for that. Next on my list is Noonan 29, Marty in Tyrone. Good evening, Marty. How are you doing this week?
Good evening, Justin and the net. Everybody else out there in the ever-increasing membership rolls. Seem to see at least half a dozen new people a week showing up out here, and that's fantastic. Doing good over here, albeit we are soggy. We are still above the water line. The drainage ditch, just like Larry mentioned there, in the backyard, that's starting to become more than just a little creek. It's now gone to the stage of calling it a brook. This keeps going, it's going to become a river. I'll read that here. And if it gets to that point, I will soon embark on an ARC project. I will start with a dog. That's all I have. But I'll build an ARC and put my dog on it, and we'll just sail where the waters take us. Hopefully it won't be such a bad trip. You just never know. Don't think I'll be able to make Dalton. I'm working tomorrow, and I'll be out in Winder, and I won't get home until 3 or 4 in the morning, so I don't think I'm going to make Dalton. Hoping to make either Savannah as it comes up a little further down in April. That'd be fun because I've never been there. Or either that, or I'm just going to hold out for November when the Stone Mountain one comes along. That's really about it. Good to hear everybody and some new folks checking in as well. With that, we'll turn it back to Ned from Noonan 29.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hadn't even considered a Hamfest in Savannah. If you have some information about that, you should post that. I am pretty sure that I could convince Atlanta 947 to go to Savannah for just about anything. And a Hamfest would qualify as an excuse to go to Savannah. So, yeah, I would like to learn more about that. And as far as Hamfests go, Marty, if you can't make Savannah and you can't make Dalton, in June, there is rumor that the Atlanta Hamfest may be happening in Marietta. Their website proclaims it, and I believe it to be true, but they don't seem to want to talk to me about it. So, but once I get some confirmation from them, I'll be sure and share that. So June 6th, I believe, is the date for the Atlanta Hamfest in Marietta. And, of course, February 22nd is Dalton. And I'm sure there are several others in the area throughout the year. And we'll have to catch up on as many of those as we can. And, yeah, as far as the water levels, Lake Allatoona, you know, they said that it's 18 feet above normal. And that's a little bit misleading because the normal water level this time of the year is 15 feet below pool. So 18 feet above that is only 3 feet above full pool and 17 feet away from flood stage. So it's nowhere near as dire as the newscasters would like to make it sound, but that's not to say that it's not a problem. And the water levels around here have been a problem, and we've got roads that are closed because they're underwater, and we've got those kind of issues. And there are marinas and boat owners that are having issues because of the excessively high water, and so all kinds of concerns that come along with that. And of course, back in 2009, just before we arrived, this area experienced massive flooding, and we're very, very, very hopeful that doesn't happen again. We're a ways away from it. We've got more room in that lake for more water, so I think this coming rain is a concern, but I don't think there's any reason to panic yet. But then again, I don't have a creek that runs through my backyard, so if I did, I might be inclined to help you build that ark. Thank you for that, Marty. And with that, I'm going to move on next to Atlanta 3-3, Ricky in Jasper. Ricky is checking in and out with us tonight. But thank you, Ricky, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you being here. And that brings me to the end of my list. So at this time, I will call out for any additional check-ins from any repeater anywhere. And the floor is open for any comments, questions, or remarks to any member of the net. Please call Net Control now.
This is Atlanta 40, WQCS 998, John in Alpharetta.
This is Atlanta 350, WQNB 686, Jim in Cedartown. Steve and Justin, everybody on the net.
5948, WRL 430, Gary Woodstock. Check me in and out.
Okay, at this time, Net Control will acknowledge Atlanta 40, John in Alpharetta. John, thank you for checking in with us tonight. Looking forward to hearing from you. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 350, Jim in Cedartown. Jim, I've got you in the log. And I have Atlanta 948, Gary from Woodstock. Gary, thank you for checking in. I've got you in and out. Do we have any additional check-ins for the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net? Please call Net Control now. Is anyone able to relay that last station? Last station that tried to check in, if you could try that one more time, and this time I want you to talk real loud into your microphone and see if we can break through some of that noise and get in here with you. I'd like to get you in the log. Well, station, I'm sorry, I just don't have a read on you. I wish that I could hear you and get you in here, but I just don't have a good copy on you. So, with that, I'm going to recommend that you try to find a better location or improve your system, and either try to check in here again in a few minutes or next week. And sorry about that. I sure would like to have you in here in the log, but we're going to go ahead and move on down to Atlanta 40, John in Alpharetta. How you doing this evening, John?
Well, doing very well in Net Control, and good to hear everybody on the radio tonight. I'm listening. We're back in project in the center of the state over now, being built in Alpharetta. The sad thing is it's rained for 47 out of 60 days, and they're 45 days behind. So we're what to do because he ages out of Scout in actually March 24th. So we're working on it, doing a lot of texting tonight on that subject, and that's pretty much been my focus here lately, trying to get him through to his equals.
I got just a little bit of interference in there with you, John. I heard most of that, but and I heard you say that it's rained 47 out of 60 days, and that's kept you from doing something. And it sounds to me like you're trying to get somebody towards a goal. Can you tell me again what that is and who that is?
Yeah, affirmative. That's I'm trying to get my son out to his Eagle project. He ages out on March 24th, so this rain has got the project behind it.
Oh, okay. I understand now. So he's going to age out, so we need to get this thing done before, but the weather's been in the way. All right. Well, hope that the project for the Eagle Scout is successful, and hopefully maybe next week you can tell us a little bit more about what that project is and how it came together. But thank you for that, John, and best of luck to you and your son for getting that done. And was that your son or your grandson?
I'm not that old. It's my son.
I'm not that old either, but I've got grandkids. But all right, well then, good luck with that, and I hope that you're successful in that endeavor. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Atlanta 350, Jim in Cedartown. This is a rare occasion where Jim actually checks in and hangs out long enough to talk. I guess that's because he checked in at the end.
Hey, Justin. Good evening, everybody on the net. Yeah, not a lot going on here. Almost to the end of the work week, and surviving all the moisture and now cold. So anyway, yeah, it's other than the rain, it's been uneventful, and yeah, I forget about this net a lot. And, but anyway, good to hear you calling the net. Sounds like you got a good one going on, and I'll probably hang around to the end of it. But anyway, hope everybody's well. It's 73's off. Atlanta 350, WQMD 686. Back to net control.
All right, Jim. Well, thank you for that, and look forward to hearing from you always. And maybe we'll catch up with you in Houston at Dalton. Houston had made comment that you might be a part of that, and he might be a part of that, but he didn't know for sure, so I imagine you don't know for sure either. But in any case, hopefully we catch up with you there. Okay, sorry about that. A little distracted here, but I think I know what I'm doing now. So next on my list is Atlanta 948. Atlanta 948 is Gary, right here in Woodstock, my backyard neighbor. Gary is a busy guy, and he's in and out tonight. No comments for the net, so thank you, Gary, for checking in, and we'll catch up with you again real soon. That brings me again to the end of the list, so if we have any additional check-ins, any late check-ins, please call Net Control now, and the floor is open, so any comments, bring them my way.
Atlanta 225. Back to net control, Justin.
Atlanta 225. Hey, Mike, it's great to hear from you. How are things going in your part of the world? Are you staying clear of the water? You're right there at Lake Lanier. It's probably getting pretty high.
I was doing some computer work, and I can hear you guys talking. Yeah, the lake's getting pretty high. It's actually, it's close to a record set back in 1964, 56 years.
Wow.
I just wanted to stab that in there.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. That's a lot of water. And, you know, I don't know the dynamics of Lake Allatoona quite like I know, Lake Lanier quite like I know Allatoona. And, because Allatoona is my backyard. But what does that level of water do in terms of area flooding? Do you have roads underwater over there as well?
I know of. U.S. Corps designed this lake pretty well on their shoreline management. So we get to what's called a full pool, flood pool at 1085. I don't exactly know what that means. We're at 1086, 70 right now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Lake Allatoona is at full pool at 840 feet. And I don't think they consider it flooded until it gets to 860 feet. So that's the margin that we have here. I don't know what that equates to in terms of rainfall or gallons or time or any of that. But I know that they have some restrictions on what they can do in terms of releasing water from the lake because of potential for flooding downstream and some legal restrictions that they have. So it can be a tough one to manage. We can't necessarily deluge a downstream city just to keep this one from overfilling, but there's no reason to at this time because we're not in danger yet, and hopefully this season will pass before there is any real danger.
Do that. Correct for us. We are. The design is good. Yeah, we're looking out for downstream. You cannot flood it, but at 1085, another 8 feet, and then we're going to have to release more water than is acceptable. So, got like 9 more feet to go up, but I've never seen it this high in the backyard.
Oh man, well, if you get around to it, maybe you can snap a couple of pictures and post them on Facebook so we can all get a feel for what you're dealing with. But it's been great hearing from you, Mike. Just you're in the middle of the list, and I was looking at the end. It's been great to hear from you, Mike. It's been a little while, and I look forward to catching up with you some more as we go here. So with that, that's the end of my list once again. So if we have any additional check-ins, please call Net Control. And again, the floor is open.
Comment for Net Control.
Hey, go ahead, Donald. Bring your comment.
On the lower right corner, there's bars down there at the bottom. What does that mean on Zello?
Oh, shoot, I don't know. I would have to bring Zello up on my phone and see if I could figure it out. Maybe we can have a QSO offline and figure that out.
All right.
This is Atlanta 26. I'd like to ask Jim up there in Cedartown if Main Street is flooded. I'm just curious. You know, it wasn't so many years back, for those of you who remember, that we were all in the drought mode. So having all this water is maybe some scary moments for some, but it's nice to have all this water around when you think about it in some ways.
This is Atlanta 104 WQZT 609, checking in and checking out.
Okay, Net Control is going to acknowledge Atlanta 104. Mike in Ackworth is checking in and out with us tonight. Mike, thank you for checking in. It's great to hear from you, and we look forward to catching up with you again real soon. And Mike, I don't know if you're planning on going to the Dalton Ham Fest, but look for me if you are, and be good to shake your hand. Also like to acknowledge the traffic from Atlanta 26 to Atlanta 350, Jim in Cedartown. Jim, are you still monitoring? All right, Flip. Well, it sounds like Jim maybe has gotten distracted by his grandkids, or some other distraction has taken place, and he's not available to answer that. But I'm sure if you post something on the Facebook page, he can answer your question there. And I don't know. I mean, I've been up in the Cedartown area, but I really don't know what conditions would be like with heavy rain and high water. But I expect that being downstream from Lake Allatoona, and I know that they're releasing as much water as they're legally allowed to, there's probably a good bit of flooding in that area. Any additional comments? Net Control, floor is open. Okay, just one quick little reminder. Gary has posted on our Facebook page a poll with regard to seminars and classes and things of that nature that we might have an interest in. So if you haven't seen that on Facebook, take a look at that and express whatever interest that you have with regard to some kind of class or webinar or live stream or however the format ends up being. I really don't have any idea at this point. But if there's something that you want to know more about and you think that you would like to have a class held with that topic, chime in and let us know. And if you see something that's already listed, put a vote in there so that we can get an idea of what the interests are, and we can kind of formulate a plan and prioritize what those things are going to be. And something we can look forward to this coming year. I think that's a great idea, and I hope that I'm able to participate in most of them. So that'll be cool. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close the net. I think we've dragged this thing on long enough, and I think that folks are ready to turn in. I know that I'm getting there. So as soon as I find my page and my place in the script, we can wrap this thing up. This concludes the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. We had a total of 26 check-ins tonight, and that includes myself. At this time, Net Control will return the repeater back to normal use. Everyone that signed in should sign out. All of the Zello users have been signed out already. Thank you for allowing me to be your Net Control tonight. Good night, everyone. Atlanta 946, WQIR 514, clear.
This is 253 WQNV 274, cleared.
Uh-oh, excuse me.
And then 29, WRCU 796, clear and monitoring.
Okay, didn't realize there were people in here.
WQMN 733, Atlanta 36, clear the net. Great job, Net Control.
Atlanta 57, WQZC 882. I'll be clear and monitoring.
Atlanta 115, WRDQ 678, clear of the net, but monitoring and mobile at 2107.
XW 343, Atlanta 225, clear.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it at this point. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. And I've got a couple of things I'm going to follow up on here, some Facebook stuff, and I'm going to follow up with Donald on his question. And yeah, so that's what's going on around here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us and putting up with me being here, pressing the buttons all by myself and barely knowing what I'm doing. But with that, let's see, there we go. So with that, thank you everyone, and good night. WQIR 514, Atlanta 946 will be clear.